a big in a whole different bracket, this life is immaculate. If you hit me for boasting, you know that I'm taxing. Keep buying clothes, that still in the package. If he say that he robbed me, he capping me. Really no niggas throw sevens like Kaepernick. You not blind and you see that we have it. Known in my city, so no, I'm not average. Came a long way from dope in the cabin. Know that I still in the game that I rep. Went to Solomon, I stopped the 10%.
Hey, yo, bad play.
Hey, I just went bought a watch with a whole lot of diamonds to show out these my time. Took a trip out to Cali to hang with the clips, make a play and get high off that. I say R.I.P. Kobe, it's so fly when I ball out. Where I skydiving, so much chicken on me, could've went by the Williams.
Let's go, boy.
A big in a whole different bracket, this life is immaculate. If you hit me for boasting, you know that I'm taxing. Keep buying clothes, that still in the package. If he say that he robbed me, he capping me. Really no niggas throw sevens like Kaepernick. You not blind and you see that we have it. Known in my city, so no, I'm not average. Came a long way from dope in the cabin. Know that I still in the game that I rep. Went to Solomon, I stopped the 10%.
Hey, yo, bad play.
Hey, I just went bought a watch with a whole lot of diamonds to show out these my time. Took a trip out to Cali to hang with the clips, make a play and get high off that. I say R.I.P. Kobe, it's so fly when I ball out. Where I skydiving, so much chicken on me, could've went by the Williams.
Let's go, boy.
A big in a whole different bracket, this life is immaculate. If you hit me for boasting, you know that I'm taxing. Keep buying clothes, that still in the package. If he say that he robbed me, he capping me. Really no niggas throw sevens like Kaepernick. You not blind and you see that we have it. Known in my city, so no, I'm not average. Came a long way from dope in the cabin. Know that I still in the game that I rep. Went to Solomon, I stopped the 10%.
Hey, yo, bad play.
Hey, I just went bought a watch with a whole lot of diamonds to show out these my time. Took a trip out to Cali to hang with the clips, make a play and get high off that. I say R.I.P. Kobe, it's so fly when I ball out. Where I skydiving, so much chicken on me, could've went by the Williams.
Let's go, boy.
A big in a whole different bracket, this life is immaculate. If you hit me for boasting, you know that I'm taxing. Keep buying clothes, that still in the package. If he say that he robbed me, he capping me. Really no niggas throw sevens like Kaepernick. You not blind and you see that we have it. Known in my city, so no, I'm not average. Came a long way from dope in the cabin. Know that I still in the game that I rep. Went to Solomon, I stopped the 10%.
Hey, yo, bad play.
Family, just want to come on here real quick and let you guys know we have a merchandise sale going on right now at bsnteamsports.com. The sale has been going on for a couple weeks now, and the last day to order your Karen Crow merchandise is August 30th. It's only a few days away, so make sure you get your merchandise ordered now. We got everything that a Karen Crow fan will want to represent their school. We got t-shirts, sweaters, we got shorts, we got hats, we got slides, we got blankets, phone cases, water bottles, we even got cornhole boards. What other school y'all know sells cornhole boards? But like I said, the last day to place your order is August 30th. That's right around the corner, so make sure you get your order today. Hope to see y'all rocking the new gear at the football games. We'll see y'all there. Go Bears.
cabin. Know that I step in the game that I rep. Went to Solomon, I stopped the 10 for 600.
Hey, yo, bad play.
Hey, I just went by the watch with a whole lot of diamonds to show how these my time. Took a trip out to Cali to hang with the crews, make a play and get high off that. I say R.I.P. Kobe, it's so fly when I ball out. Where I skydiving, so much chicken on me, could've went by the Williams. In a whole different bracket, this life is immaculate. If you hit me for boasting, you know that I'm taxing. Keep buying cause that still in the package. If he say that he robbed me, he capping me. Really no niggas throw sevens like Kaepernick. You not blind and you see that we have it. Known in my city, so no, I'm not average. Came a long way from dope in the cabin. Know that I step in the gang that I rep. Went to Solomon, I stopped the 10 for 600.
Hey, yo, bad play.
Hey, I just went by the watch with a whole lot of diamonds to show how these my time. Took a trip out to Cali to hang with the crews, make a play and get high off that. I say R.I.P. Kobe, it's so fly when I ball out. Where I skydiving, so much chicken on me, could've went by the Williams. In a whole different bracket, this life is immaculate. If you hit me for boasting, you know that I'm taxing. Keep buying cause that still in the package. If he say that he robbed me, he capping me. Really no niggas throw sevens like Kaepernick. You not blind and you see that we have it. Known in my city, so no, I'm not average. Came a long way from dope in the cabin. Know that I step in the gang that I rep. Went to Solomon, I stopped the 10 for 600.
Hey, yo, bad play.
Hey, I just went by the watch with a whole lot of diamonds to show how these my time. Took a trip out to Cali to hang with the crews, make a play and get high off that. I say R.I.P. Kobe, it's so fly when I ball out. Where I skydiving, so much chicken on me, could've went by the Williams. In a whole different bracket, this life is immaculate. If you hit me for boasting, you know that I'm taxing. Keep buying cause that still in the package. If he say that he robbed me, he capping me. Really no niggas throw sevens like Kaepernick. You not blind and you see that we have it. Known in my city, so no, I'm not average. Came a long way from dope in the cabin. Know that I step in the gang that I rep. Went to Solomon, I stopped the 10 for 600.
Hey, yo, bad.
Welcome into the Carecrow Broadcast Network for the GP Are You With Me show, right here live from Pizzaville, USA, right here at Exit 4 in Carecrow at 114 Derrick Plaza, right off of Veterans Boulevard. Come out and join us and have a great time today. Hey, kids eat for free tonight, so come out and bring the family and enjoy some food and some cold beverages as well. Man of the hour, Coach Gavin Peters, first year head coach at Carecrow, joining me tonight. And Coach, it's finally here. It's football season.
Yes, sir. It's finally here. You know, there's been a few things that have transpired over the last few weeks. That's always kind of the indicator that football season is here. And today, myself and Ms. Vanessa, our principal, and Coach Frank, we went to the Kiwanis Club luncheon. This was actually the first time that I've ever participated in that. But it's one of those things that in the past I've always, watched the videos and read the articles, et cetera, et cetera. So it was pretty cool to be a part of that today. But that was just one more thing that kind of said that the season is here. So here we are.
You're right. It seems like we wait so long for it to be here, and I couldn't be more excited. Coach Tony Corville, who was just a mainstay in the program since the 90s. I feel like he's been around the program since I've been alive almost. He went ahead and retired. We wish Coach the best, and we'll miss him. But you bring in a unique skill set. You were brought here 6 years ago to kind of be that head coach in waiting. You took over the offense. When you first started, it was very run heavy, split back veer, pound the football all night, and you adopted to the modern game very well over the last couple of years, and we're going to get into that. I want to talk a little bit right now, though, and it's been the first segment here, talking about your past and what got you here, because look, this is something that you're very passionate about. You talked about it at the Carecrow Bear Bash a few weeks back about how you feel this is destined, it's meant to be. How did that transpire and come to fruition?
As far as me coming into Carecrow?
Just in general, Coach.
Just in general. So, growing up with my uncles and my family, we're a very heavy sports family. And I grew up admiring Coach Hank Tierney from Archbishop Shaw. I had cousins that went to school at Archbishop Shaw, and growing up in the city of New Orleans on the West Bank, that's where I wanted to attend high school. And I'll never forget, I was either 8 or 9 years old, and Sharon Carey was the starting quarterback for Shaw. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a good name for Karen Crow. You know, that game was that 1997.
Man, look, that Karen Crow team was absolutely loaded. They stopped everybody all year long, went over to the West Bank, and got a 50 burger hung up on them.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was Sharon's sophomore or junior year when they played Karen Crow, but I think this was his senior year. Well, they ended up playing a school that I didn't know what the name of them was, but I remember them afterwards. But it was Acadiana, and they actually beat Acadiana. Oh no, Shaw. Acadiana beat Shaw. I think that was either the first or second round, and I was at that game, and I remember being very depressed. I remember being how good Sharon Carey was. Well, my fraternity advisor in college was a guy by the name of Harold Porter, and I joined the fraternity Kappa Alpha Psi. My freshman year, I was named New Greek Man of the Year, and him and I developed a real close relationship. And I told him that I wanted to get my career started, and he said that, well, I went to high school with Ted Davidson. I said, Ted Davidson, that coach at Acadiana? He said, yes. I said, well, you need to give him a call. And I showed up. Me and Coach Davidson talked for about 3 hours. He told me he didn't have any positions available, but he said he was very impressed with our conversation and said, how about you show up next week? We start spring practice, and the rest is history. I showed up. I never left. I worked the entire first year for free. Probably about mid-season, they started letting me run the scout team. And the very next year, he hired me to be his receivers coach. And then when Coach Scott McCullough retired, a couple years later, he moved me into the backfield where I coached quarterbacks and running backs. And about a year and a half after that, it was probably about midway through the 2014 season, which was our second year of back-to-back state championships. Coach Davidson kind of, gave me full control of the whole entire offense. Prior to that, Coach Scott McCullough and myself called all the passing plays, which wasn't very many.
Would they let you call a couple plays a game, guys?
Which wasn't very many, but very thankful for, my upbringing, and I'll always be grateful for that.
Well, look, I know your journey started a long time before that, originally from the New Orleans area. I believe you moved into the Sinai area. Talk about your upbringing and being able to play some football. Were you always in that split back veer mindset back then?
Well, it goes back to when I was a ball boy at Gina High School. Coach Mac Fowler ran high formation offense, okay? And then I go to Pineville High School and play for Coach Mike Rishaw, high formation offense, all right? So I think that desire and that want to run the football and be physical has kind of always been there, because I don't really know if I've ever been around anything else, and when I met Coach Davidson, I knew what the veer was, so to speak, because we played against him my senior year and obviously watched highlights and things of that nature. So it was very intriguing to get to learn it, and I fell in love with it on first sight, and it'll always be a part of us in our career. Even now I know we've kind of become more of a gun offense because that's what our personnel kind of fits us best. But I think today at practice, if we ran 100 plays, I think 95 of them was out of split back. So it's kind of a little bit of yin and yang.
Hey, when things get tight, you always go back to what was Old Faithful, right? Which you most confident.
We've got to get tougher right now, and that's part of the beauty of the offense, is that it builds some toughness. So very grateful to have learned it to the level that I know it at now.
So 6 years ago, you come on and join Coach Corville's staff here at Karen Crow, and I felt very quickly you kind of just ingrained yourself in the culture here at Karen Crow. You bought into what the community's about and the school's about. Talk to us a little bit about how that transition was for you to come over from Karen Crow's arch rival. Now you're in blue and gold.
Well, once the transition was made, obviously it was very hard. No different than anything new. But leading up to it, and I've said this before, I had a little bit of a secret crush on Karen Crow, and I think it developed because I worked with a bunch of guys that spent a lot of time here at Karen Crow. Kyle Seabold, Dawson Durbin, Judd Broussard. I worked hand in hand with those guys, and I would listen to the stories. We would go to the Senior Bowl every year, and I get to hang out with Coach Mack. So I really developed kind of like a secret crush during my time at Acadiana for Karen Crow. And when the opportunity came for itself, I'll be honest, it took me about 2 months to make that decision finally. And I prayed on it and talked with some of the most important people in my life, obviously family members, my pastor Nick Carroll at the time. Spoke with a lot of insiders at Acadiana, because it was only 2 people that knew, my boy Katie Dawes and Jordan Romero. Those are the only 2 that knew, and I kind of talked with them about it, and talked with my best friends, and just figured that it was the best thing to do for me professionally, but I also felt like it was almost a calling from God that, this community could use someone like myself, the program could use someone like myself, and I want to make that investment and do right by him.
If you're just joining us right now, this is the first ever edition of the GP. Are you with me? Karen Pro Coaches Show live from Pizzaville, USA. Also brought to you by the Ground Patty. You can go check out the Ground Patty at 505 West Pond and Mouton Road right here in Karen Crow as well. And of course, if you want to get in on the action and help support these streams, you can hit us up at cbnstream@gmail.com, and we can talk about all those sponsorship options that we have for you. Coach Gavin Peters joining me right now. A little bit later, too, we're going to have Principal Ms. Vanessa Knott join us, and we'll talk about the overall culture at Karen Crow and what the broadcast network means to the school, not only in terms of athletics, but what can they do with this from an academic side as well as from a social side for the students as well. We also want to thank our guy Seth Dickerson, the director of AOIT. He's behind the scenes today with students Benji Desatel as well as Ross Noel leading the charge and powering up this broadcast for all you fine folks at home. So, Coach, look, fast forward, you get to 2020. Magical things happen, right? The stars align. You able to help bring
even more magical. The world shut down. Yeah, the world shut down in 2020.
Some crazy things had to happen to get to that point, but boy, once it got going, we were able to bring the second state championship over to Karen Crow High School, and you had one of the best duos in the backfield in school history, one of the best offensive lines, and it was powered by the Veer once again. So what went into that season, and how quickly and when did you realize that team had to be as special as it was?
Well, obviously, when I first got here, I'll never forget the first staff meeting that we had. We talked about the sophomore class, which ended up being the senior class 2020. And, the first year we didn't start off great like the first 4 or 5 games, but we ended the season 4-1. I think we lost to STM for the district championship at their place. And then Coach Corbill called it a quagmire. It had rained all week 1 of the playoffs that year, and we went down to Assumption and lost a tough game to where, I don't know if anybody can play in those conditions, and be successful. But, it kind of came down to luck and field position and, who could protect the ball the best. And, we ended that season in the first round. But the very next year, we lost in the quarterfinals to Warren Easton, And I think we went 10-3. And the 3 games that we lost that year were all to state championship playing teams. Acadiana won a state championship that year. STM won a state championship that year. And Warren Easton lost a car by 1 point on the goal line, for a state championship. So we had all those guys coming back, so we knew we had a chance to be pretty good. But I remember Coach Corbill telling the kids in the meeting that, even though we practiced on Thanksgiving, made a quarterfinal run, if we were still in the same position a year from now, it was going to be a major disappointment. And to be honest with you, we didn't have a great start to the off season. COVID was almost one of the best things that happened to us. It's crazy. I remember we had a meeting in my classroom right before COVID happened and just kind of telling our kids that we weren't operating the correct way. And whenever the world shut down, our kids realized that, man, we could not have this great opportunity to compete for a state championship in front of us. And once we were allowed to come back to school, man, we put the pedal to the metal and it was on and popping. It was on and popping from there.
And then, you fast forward a couple of years later, and not that you went away from the split back veer like you mentioned, but the Air PD offense was born. And then you get a special kid like Chance Babineau came in. Chance Caesar was a remarkable quarterback as well. And you were able to do some different things with that offense. What was the motivation or maybe the inspiration is a better word that helped bring that offense to life?
Well, the first time I ever saw Chance Babineau play when he was in 8th grade at Karen Crow Middle, he ran a zone replay, and he ended up handing the ball off, and he looked at Coach Thomas and said, run it again. And then the very next play, he took it to the crib for about 80 yards, and I said, that's the best middle school player I ever saw. And so then Chance Caesar, you kind of fast forward that a couple weeks later, Chance Caesar tore everything in his knee week 8 versus Brother Martin. And he was the life and soul of our offense and for our program at the time. And just kind of looking into it in the offseason, I was like, man, at that time, Chance was probably carrying the ball 25, 30 times a game. And I said, look, he's not going to make it through a whole year coming off major knee surgery, having to carry the ball 25, 30 times a game. So, and also kind of what happened too is that the week after he got hurt, we had to move Jalen John, who was our best running back. We had to move him to quarterback, And I heard this, I've read it a million times, seen it in every press conference where they say great coaches give the ball to their best player. And I said, well, he ain't about to sit on the center all night and us hand it off to somebody else. You know, we're going to snap it to Jalen and we're going to let him go. And we ended up losing the STM by 7 that night with our pretty much third-string quarterback because our backup quarterback that year was Davion Francis. It's crazy. Chance Caesar tore his ACL. We replaced him with a guy that had a torn ACL. Davion had a special clearance that year for being able to play with his torn ACL. So, anyways, Jalen had a phenomenal night that night. I'll never forget, we were shaking hands, and Coach Shane told me what an awesome game plan that was. Coach Bro told me what an awesome game plan that was. And it was from that night on. I said, you know what, when Big Chance gets back next year, we got a little chance coming up. We're going to sell out to this. That night against STM kind of really, I guess, sealed the deal and kind of gave me a little bit more confidence to jump on in it. And then also that year, too, I was very gracious. Coach Shane and Coach Jim, they opened up the doors, okay? When we lost another one in the second round, I did everything with them the next week, okay? I went through all of the staff meetings. I went through all of the practices, et cetera, et cetera. Just kind of felt more comfortable with the offense. I worked with Coach Shane hand in hand in the I-10 Bowl maybe a couple years before. So it was kind of a bunch of things that kind of led to that, but I'm very happy that we did it.
Coach Shane Salvo, one of the best offensive coordinators, not only in the area, but the entire state. That STM offense each year is just a juggernaut. Let's fast forward. Coach Corville decides to retire. You get the head job. What's changed for you? What's been the biggest shift from being the offensive coordinator to now moving into the head role and kind of behind the scenes? What was the biggest change for you?
Man, I've told this to a few people in the last 2 weeks. Look, I had front row seats because I was the right-hand man to the previous 2 guys that I worked for. I was Coach Corville's right-hand man, and I was Coach Davis's right-hand man. But you never know what this job entails until you get in the seat. I'm going to say like my grandma would say, I'm wore out right now. All right, I'm wore out right now, man. There's stuff coming from all over. But, to whom much is given, much is required. And I signed up for this, and I'm going to figure it out, as time goes on. I think a lot of things will be easier in the future. Look, I'm very happy for all the things that we've been able to accomplish in the last 6 months, I know we got a lot of supporters in here, and I work hand in hand with them. And I see our Bearbatch president, Todd Olivier. He probably called me crazy every now and then for all the stuff we've done in the last 6 months. But we made it. We made it, and we did it, and every single thing that we shot for, we made it happen. So I'm very proud of that. But I'll be lying if I say it ain't knocked me off my butt a little bit. But I think it'll get easier over time. And one of the things that I'm struggling with the most is I love coaching football. Okay, I love coaching football, and what's happened is the other responsibilities of the job has taken football away from me a little bit, and that kind of sucks, but that's what comes with it. And eventually I'll figure it out and get back to where I'm able to, put as much time into football as I always have.
Let's talk a little bit about some of those changes that, we've kind of had brewing for a while, but they're starting to kind of come to light now, totally new uniforms. You're not going to see the traditional old school Carrico uniforms. You're going to get a couple different shades. You got new facilities coming up. We got a turf field that's being laid out. Talk to us a little bit about all those additions and what does it mean for the program?
Well, I think it's very important that, we run our program like a business. Branding is important. Marketing is important. And I just want to be first class in everything that we do. Look, I'll be honest, I have a lot of respect for Omaha, down there in New Orleans, Louisiana, for what they've done. And we've kind of, stolen a couple things from what they do and they've kind of adopted it to fit us as well. And, the uniform combinations have been a hit. I've gotten a lot of compliments about them. The kids obviously love them. The community loves them. So, that's been a great thing. And obviously the facilities, we started getting some places around here in the area that started getting some new facilities, and I was wondering, well, what's going on? Why are we not getting that at Carrico, So I kind of worked the channels and kind of figured out what it needs to be done for us to get that, and very blessed that we're going to have a new field house that's going to be completed in July of 2025. We're going to be getting a new double-deck press box very soon, getting a brand new AOIT building for our Carrico Bear Network students and all the students that are going to be doing the great technology things on campus, and got a new ag barn coming. Our chicken trail loop is getting paved. It's going to be a new parking lot in the front of school with a new video board there. So very excited about all of the great things that we got happening infrastructure-wise at Carrico High School.
Lots of exciting things coming. We're going to step aside for the first time tonight, but when we come back, Ms. Vanessa Knott's going to be joining us, and she'll talk about some of those changes at Carrico and more things to come for the Golden Bears, right here on the Carrico Bears Network.
guys know we have a merchandise sale going on right now at bsnteamsports.com. The sale has been going on for a couple weeks now, and the last day to order your Karen Crow merchandise is August 30th. It's only a few days away, so make sure you get your merchandise ordered now. We got everything that a Karen Crow fan would want to represent their school. We got t-shirts, sweaters, we got shorts, we got hats, we got slides, we got blankets, phone cases, water bottles, we even got cornhole boards. What other school y'all know sells cornhole boards? But like I said, the last day to place your order is August 30th. That's right around the corner, so make sure you get your order today. Hope to see y'all rocking the new gear at the football.
Go. All right, we're live.
Welcome back into the GP Are You With Me Karen Crow Coaches Show right here on the Karen Crow Bears Network. I don't have the head coach here. I got the head lady in charge, Ms. Vanessa Knott, principal at Karen Crow High School, joining me now. Ms. Knott, I really appreciate you joining us today. I know you're a busy lady. For you to make the time, it means all the world to us.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here tonight.
Yes, ma'am. You took over Karen Crow High School, and it was not going in the best of directions. You know, since you've been here, it's been nothing but positive momentum. It's shifted. The school's getting a lot better in terms of public view, and it just seems like it's just a much happier campus these days.
Well, I knew when I joined Karen Crow 8 years ago that it was going to be a great place to be. When I had the opportunity to become principal, I knew that I needed to build a good team, and so my administrative team is phenomenal. The teachers at Karen Crow High are phenomenal, and we have the best students in the parish. So we are set up for success, and that's the direction that we're headed.
Well, one thing I love about you, not only are you very visible, but you do what you say. When you're out at Karen Crow High School, any event you go to, you're front and center. You're not afraid to be at any and every opportunity. Tonight, you're right here joining us tonight, and I think that shows a lot of students, teachers, and the community what it means to be a Golden Bear as well.
Well, kind of piggyback on what Gavin said a while ago, I love being a teacher. So when I stepped into the principal role, it took a little bit of adjustment because I wasn't around students as much as I used to be, but I have found that being around students, participating in their athletic events, in their clubs, kind of feels that need for me to be a part of that community.
One of the great things that's super exciting is this broadcast network. Look, it's one of the only ones in the entire state that's completely student ran. I know Seth Dickerson has done a great job, the director of AOIT, and kind of spearheading this and bringing it to life. Tell me what it means to have your students be a part of something like this.
When Seth came to me and told me exactly what we were blessed with, I was like, wow. There's no other place who has top-notch broadcasting equipment like we do. So it's just setting up our AOIT program for success. They are learning all about broadcasting. We talked about starting a journalism class. It's just going to set the program on fire. Only up from here, we're ready to grow.
If you're just joining us right now, we're live from Pizzaville, USA, where kids eat for free tonight. So get on out here and bring the family and enjoy some delicious pizza. Of course, each and every week we'll be live here, and you can catch all of our games, home games, live on the network. But that's not the only thing that this network's going to be here just for football. There's an opportunity on the athletic side to do a host of sports, right? Baseball, basketball, soccer, whatever the student body envisions, it can come to life here. But there's also some opportunity outside of athletics too. You'll be able to use it on the academic side, and then some social settings too to help with student life.
Yes, we'll be able to broadcast pep rallies. We'll be able to broadcast morning announcements. We are also looking forward to giving our parents access to our lunch and learns, which are informational meetings that take place every quarter. anytime we have something going on in school, we will be able to broadcast live.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So lunch and learn. Walk me through that. Is that for the students, or are they able to?
The lunch and learns take place in the library. The students, parents can come or guardian and bring their lunch. They have lunch with their student, but the lunch has a purpose. The parents are there to learn about different things that are going on at school. They explain LEAP tests, they explain ACT, they explain the difference in a TOPS track and a Jumpstart track. So it's informational, but in a setting where they can enjoy it with their child.
That sounds like a good time. Give me some other things that's going on in Karen Crow right now that you're proud of and very excited of coming through this new school year.
So we have started off the school year just on a real positive note. Our students are engaged, they're learning. When you walk across the campus, you can see that academics is one of our top priorities. Progress reports are rolling right around the corner, so it's kind of hard to believe, but the students are ready to go. It's been great.
And talking about just academics as a whole, I mean, Karen Crow was able to elevate their grade, right? I believe what it's a C school, B school now. And when you took over, there you go, easy to remember, right? So when you took over at the school, where were we at that point in time? And talk about the work that it took to get to this point.
So we were actually at a D when I started working at Karen Crow High School and have grown to a B. It is the hard work and dedication of our teachers. It is the commitment they have to reach each and every student in their classroom. That's what builds Karen Crow to a B.
I love to hear it. Look, before we let you go, because I know you're busy and I see you got the family here, so I know you want to get back to eating dinner tonight. It's football season, though, so I got to ask you some football questions. The Bears are super fired up for this season. What do you think about Coach Gavin Peters taking over and the season that's coming upon us?
I think we're about to win. It's going to be a winning season. We have the best coaching staff, and those boys started off with summer sacrifice. They have been practicing every afternoon until late, and they are ready to go.
Ms. Vanessa and I appreciate the time tonight. Hope you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
We're going to head to our second break of the night. When we come back, Coach Gavin Peters is going to join us again, and we'll talk more about this upcoming season as well as Karen Crow scrimmage last week against the Westgate Tigers, right here on the Karen Crow Bears Network.
High School, we need you to get your season tickets. We got to get this place jumping back how it was in the 90s and 2000s. Everybody in the stands, hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder. Season tickets are online right now at gofan.com. My boy Ross is going to make sure you guys have access to that. Students, okay, you can get your season tickets right now for $15. That's right. You can get into every game right now for $3 per game. Okay, $15 for the whole year. We need you to go out there and get your season tickets, okay? Adults, okay, supporters, fans, boosters, entire city of Karen Crow. We need you to go out there and get your season tickets for every game, okay? And also VIP parking pass, okay, for the entire season. Get your menus ready to go, get the Black Pots ready, get the Magna Lights ready, and let's get this place back jumping how it was once again in the 90s and 2000s. We're looking forward to September 6th, first home game versus STM, honoring our retired jerseys, and we're also going to be honoring Lifetime Achievement Award, okay? That'll be released soon at a person who's the awardee for that this year. But we need you to go out there and get your tickets, okay? And once again, let's pack this place down. The guys have been working extremely hard. We got a brand new turf. We got a brand new Megatron. We got a brand new facility. Great things in store here for Karen Crow High School. But we need you in the seats. Go Bears. Exit 4.
On Lake Crew, Lake Crew. Lake Crew.
No.
Absolutely.
Yes. I think you should put Phyllis on there.
Well, live on the Karen Crow Bears Network, this is the GP. Are You With Me? Karen Crow Coaches Show, live from Pizzaville, USA, right here at 114 Derrick Plaza off of Veterans Boulevard, right off Exit 4, Coach, where the Golden Bears hang out on Tuesday nights. Coach, it was great hearing from Ms. Vanessa, talking about what's going on in school and all the positive things surrounding Karen Crow right now. Let's shift gears a little bit. I want to talk about that summer sacrifice that she just talked about. That sounds pretty intense, and it seems like it got you guys ready to go this year. Can you let us know what was involved when it comes to the summer sacrifice?
Well, the term summer sacrifice comes from Coach Corbell, and I actually loved it, and we're going to continue it as we go for as long as I'm here. But look, it's a sacrifice that you got to make. If you're not a member of an athletic program, okay, you're just a normal student, and you got your whole summer, okay? When you wake up, you move around when you want. Not our guys, all right? I mean, we're there every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 7 to 12. And on Tuesdays, we were somewhere from about 7 to 12 as well, you know? So we got after. We had 26 workouts built in throughout the whole entire summer, and we've got a certain amount that our kids are required to meet, and I'm proud to say that I think we had 95% of them, including the freshmen, okay, which has never happened. We had 95% of them make those workouts, and I was very proud of that. And, you know, I think what the summer did for us was it laid the foundation for us long term. Okay, right now we're kind of going through some growing pains because we've got so much inexperience. But I'm actually glad you asked that question and kind of brought it up because what a tremendous summer that we've had. We've kind of forgotten about it the last couple of weeks because now we're on the field. Okay, we're kind of going through some adversity and some valleys on the field, but we had a really, really good summer, and I hope to continue that in future summers as well.
Talk about building your coaching staff. You know, when you took this job, you were lucky enough to keep a lot of the same coaches that you had off of the previous staff, but there was a flavor that you brought back as well. A lot of former Karen Crow Bears, part of the staff that were here before, and have since joined your current staff. So walk us through building that staff, and what does that staff bring to their club?
I'll be honest, a lot of it was organic. None of it was necessarily thought out or planned out prior. It all just kind of happened as we went on. Kim Darius and Mondarius Poulard's dad both asked me about them joining our staff at the potluck a year ago. And they even reached out a few times after that. So that was a no-brainer. That once, you know, I officially was named the head coach to get those guys on in the non-faculty role because I knew immediately a spot where we could use them both in the backfield and out there with the receivers. Another one that just recently got finished playing CFL was Rashad Harding, okay, another former player, and he was working at our middle school and expressed interest for wanting to come up, so that was kind of a natural progression as well. The rest just kind of happened, you know, as it just went on. You know, we were fortunate to get Xavier Brooks in the summer. He's been coaching for the last 2 years at St. Thomas More, and I think he's very bright, very conscientious, understands the game. That's absolutely tremendous with the kids, and I think he's going to be a phenomenal coach as time goes on. You know, and we've kind of given him the co-defensive coordinator responsibilities, and he's just going to get better and better as he learns our system and moves on. But a lot of the coaching staff just kind of happened organically. But Dwight Lewis is a good friend of mine. I've been knowing him for years. I coached his son back at Indiana years back. And ever since I've been at Carroll Crow, he's been asking me to join the program. And told him once we had the opportunity to do so, we were going to make it happen. And I stuck on my word with that. But that's kind of how it all happened. I'll be honest, it was really organic. And that's been a beauty. It's been a blessing to have him, I can tell you that.
We're over here live in Pizzaville, USA, and if you want to get in on the action and help sponsor and get some advertising in with us, you could always hit us up at cbnstream@gmail.com to discuss those options to get your logo on the screen right next to GP. Coach, another thing that is a little different is a lot of your production's gone off of last year's team. You have to, replace a lot of yardage and touchdowns. How are we going to do that with this new group of Bears?
I don't know. I was at practice the other day and I looked around and I said, "Where's Kashmir Baptiste?" I
said, pencil that guy for 20-something touchdowns?
I said, "Man, where's Kashmir Baptiste?" But the year before it was, "Man, where's Chance Caesar?" And it's just time for somebody else to take on with that role. And be honest, that's what we're struggling to get our kids to do. It's time for other guys to take the baton that was passed down to them and continue that tradition. And somebody's going to take it by the bull by the horn at some point. Look, we know 7 can play. All right, we know 7 can play, but it's time for 7 to become a legendary championship player. I mean, that's what we need out of Chance Babylon right now. We need him to take the Bulls by the horn, put the whole program on his back, put the community on his back, put the school on his back, and he will at some point.
Yeah, new look number 7, right? Switching from number 6 to number 7 might get a little getting used to. For me, I thought 6 for 6 made a lot of sense, but 7 carries a lot of tradition around here as well.
I think Coach Fran said the other day. He said we were talking about deep snappers and trying to create some depth, and he said, Bab's probably our best deep snapper. I said, well, when you figure out how he can snap it to himself and kick it, okay, then we'll make him the deep snapper. But until then, we got to go find somebody else. But what a special talent that he is, and we're blessed to have him. And we're blessed to have him for 2, this year and another year. It's kind of crazy. I remember 2 years ago, I looked up and I said, God, that's crazy. We got that guy for 3 more years. But time is kind of winding down, and we're going to enjoy every bit of it. I can tell you that.
Let's stick on the offensive side of the football. In terms of personnel, you talked about being able to do multi-things, spread teams out as well as being able to pound the rock in between the tackles. You said that you spent a majority of the time today on the center, but you also told me that if you had to guess, you'll probably spend majority of the time during the regular season out of the gun.
Yes, sir. Look, it just all kind of depends on the opponent that we're playing, the game, the field. It just kind of all depends, man. It's all about the game plan and what we kind of identify through film study, and go from there. But look, we're going to do what our players do the best. And right now, we've got really good skill players, and we're pretty good at throwing the football. We've got to get better at protecting up front. I think the only thing that's preventing us right now from being a really good offense is up front. We've got to figure it out up front. We got to figure it out up front. Also, we got to kind of figure it out in the back a little bit. Unfortunately, we got to rob Peter to fake ball. We've got some really good backs in our program, but they're starting outside linebackers. And those guys have got to learn how to play both ways. But we'll figure it out at some point. But I really like the potential of this team. I like us as time goes on. We can't rush this process. I even told that to the kids today because I don't know if there's anybody harder on them than me. And I had to tell them the day after practice that, look, guys, it really just hit me about 24 hours ago that we're just very inexperienced right now. We're very inexperienced right now, and we just got to keep chopping wood and carrying water, and we're going to do that.
It's only one way to get experience, right, Coach? You got to get those snaps in.
Right.
Along that offensive line, who do you see as your leader going into the year?
We have some guys that can potentially be leaders. I think it would be unfair for me to say that one is a leader right now, and that's part of the problem. Okay, that's part of the problem. We need some guys up there to take charge. I think Omarion Clark, our center, has got it in him. He's got a lot of natural ability and leadership inside of him. Jacardi Roy, who's a young kid for us, I think he's got the opportunity to be an outstanding leader. Another kid who's only been in our program for about a month, his name is Xavier Dickerson. He has been very impressive to us since he's been here. We got another sophomore, Kelvin Elair. Look, the potential is there for those young men to be outstanding, and eventually one day it will happen. We just got to trust the process and keep it going. But I think all of them have the potential to be phenomenal leaders. It's just that nobody is that guy right now. Nobody's that dude. In every locker room and every championship team that I've been on, they had dudes. Popcorn was a dude. Kendrell was a dude. Bailey was a dude. Going all the way back to Acadiana. Brakeethan was a dude. De'Ara was a dude. Michael Eugene was a dude. We got to have some dudes step up.
It's about the piece on the joke, right, Coach?
Oh, yeah.
You can only do so much with the X's and O's.
No doubt.
Let's talk a little bit about the skill position. You talked about losing a lot of production off of the team last year, but you bring back some guys that, have some production as well. Kendrick Bernard's a guy that you move around a little bit. He played a lot of football through his first 2 years. He's only a junior as well. You look for him to be taking this next step and being a major contributor?
Absolutely. I think Kendrick Bernard has the potential to be one of the best players in the state of Louisiana, maybe potentially one of the best players in the country, and we're going to continue to challenge him to do that. It's his time to kind of take a little bit more control and ownership of the offense, and we're going to try to put the ball in his hands as many times as we possibly can, too. Him and Babin are both special talents. Both of them have been starters since the day they stepped on campus. But yes, Kendrick Bernard had a great spring. He had a great offseason, and I expect him to have a good fall season as well. He's going to take some carries in the backfield and also make some plays out there on the perimeter.
Let's talk about a guy that's going to go both ways, and I thought he had a guy who had a tremendous spring. If you went to the spring game, I thought Brian Immune was the best player on the field that day, playing both offense and defense. What can a guy like that give you on both sides of the ball?
Energy. Kid plays hard. He runs through a wall for every single one of us. loves football. You know, it's all about, you know, playing both ways is different. You know, it's different, and it's definitely different on the level of football that we play. You know, so he's just got to learn how to do it, but he's definitely got all the potential. You know, I honestly wish we could have him full time, but Coach Pettis might be a fight in the office, you know. But I don't know. We keep winning these goal lines. I think we're going to take whoever we want. But,
Look, shot at Coach Pettis.
Let's shot right there. We keep winning these goal line battles. So, but BA is a heck of a player. He's a heck of a player, and I'm very excited. And he's got a little ankle injury right now, so prayers that he have a speedy recovery and get back healthy. But I expect him to have a good year.
If you're just joining us right here on the Karen Crow Bears Network, it's the first edition of the GP. Are you with me? Karen Crow Coaches Show. We're going to be here each and every Tuesday night, live from Pizzaville, USA, right here in Karen Crow. And again, if you want to get in on the action, want to be able to support, be able to advertise your business, make sure you hit the line at cbnstream@gmail.com, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you can get all the notifications when we go live throughout the season. Again, each and every home game is going to be live right here on the Karen Crow Bears Network as well. Coach, let's turn our side to the defense a little bit. Well, you know, I don't want to. You already took your shot at Coach Pettis, so now I think you got to build him up a little bit. You know, this is going to be a defense that looks to be a little undersized on paper, but a lot of athletes.
Yes, sir. You know, it's just part of it. You know, we've had to adapt. We're undersized a year ago. You know, and we figured it out then. You know, but I've been very impressed. You know, Coach Pettis has done an outstanding job. I've been very impressed with him since the moment I met him. You know, and, we're very fortunate to have him. As I continue to say, I hope we can have him for a long time. And he's a great staff guy as well, too. You know, that's what I'm trying to teach some of our younger guys. You know, we got player commandments, but we also have staff commandments, too. And player commandment number 2 is be a great teammate. Staff commandment number 2 is be a great staff guy. And Coach Pettis is a great staff guy. Yeah, he's good in the coach's office. He's great with the players. He does a phenomenal job in game planning and understands the game. And one of the biggest things that Coach Pettis has been able to do that's very hard is he doesn't look at the game as a fan. Okay, he looks at the game as a coach, which is very, very hard. Okay, very, very hard. But he's done a great job, and I expect us to be pretty good on defense this year.
What kind of formation we're looking at? Are we going to go back to a 4-3 or a 3-4?
Well,
this kind of depends on game plan and scheme.
You know, it's a lot like offensively. Look, the old school method was keep it simple, right? But something changed my life going back to that first segment, you know, talking about going into this new offense. Steve Sarkisian, who's the head football coach at the University of Texas, he said in a clinic that the more things that you can do well, the tougher you are in the field. Okay, and he was talking about on the offense side of the ball. Well, it's the same way on the defensive side of the ball. The more multiple that you can be, the harder it is for other teams to execute against you. I hate going against ourselves in spring. Like, I really do, all right, because there's a million different fronts that we got to prepare for that can happen on any given play. You know, so we'll continue to be multiple on the defensive side of the ball. You know, the inexperience right now is hurting us a little bit because, you know, we kind of had some seniors that kind of kept the glue, like a guy like Caleb Celestine a year ago and Joni Martin. You know, those guys played a lot of football, and we're kind of missing their experience right now, you know. But eventually we'll get it together, and we'll be able to continue to play the multiple fronts like we have been the last year or two.
When you look at the back half of that defense, and you mentioned a guy like Joni Martin, I mean, he was the glue. That guy had a nose for the football. He was a turnover machine as well in his time in Karen Crow. Who's going to be that guy this year?
Jalen Roy had a phenomenal spring. I don't think we blocked him in 2 years. He's very active. He has a very high motor. Of course, Brian Amune at the Mike linebacker position. You know, he played outside linebacker a year ago, but we moved him down to Mike, which is more of a natural feel for him. Very excited about a young guy by the name of Brandon Rawls. We kind of just recently moved him. You know, he started off as a Mike back. We moved him down. We kind of were playing him inside a little bit, but now we put him on the edge. So kind of excited to see 2 decent length guys out there on the edge. You know, as our 2 defensive ends. So Brandon will be a young guy there. And then in the secondary, Amari Dennis has had a great summer and fall. Brian Angel Jr., whose dad was an all-state player for us in the late 90s, I believe, or early 2000s. He's played a lot of football for us. And Wilson Landry, who's another one, his dad played for us in the mid-'80s and has an old soul. So I'm very excited and about the potential of all of those guys on the defensive side of the ball. And they've worked hard and I just hope that we can continue to work hard so we can go out there and produce in the field.
Now let's talk about the third phase of the game, special teams. That's an area that kind of plagued Carencro over the last couple of years, kind of the Achilles heel, especially when it came in terms of field position. You talked about a guy like Chance Babineau playing multiple positions. Coach Franchek wants to use him as a deep snapper, but he's punting as well. He's kicking a little bit. Talk to us about your special teams unit. Who can we expect to be returning kicks as well as kicking the football?
Well, we made a huge investment in special teams this summer, and we've actually continued it throughout, fall camp, and we'll continue throughout the season. Was able to visit with Coach Dennis Gaines for the Cecilia Bulldogs, who's they've got a really good team right now and got a chance to go out there and compete for the state championship, and visited with him, and he does a tremendous job on special teams. So we're kind of taking some of the things that they do and kind of implementing them with ourselves, but I think we'll be a lot better on special teams this year, and I'll be disappointed if we're not, because we were going from 7 to 10 in the summertime. Well, we went from 7 to 12. Okay, and one of the reasons why we went from 7 to 12 was we taught every kid in our program every position on special teams, because you never know where you can be at any given moment. So like I said, we made a big time investment into it, and I'm sure hoping that it pays off for us this year.
A week ago, you traveled down to the Valley and faced a really good Westgate team, and Coach, that was a pretty team. When you talk about it, looked as athletic as could be, they jumped out at you. What did you learn about your team in that game?
Well, I learned that we like to run our quarterback a lot, and we couldn't run the quarterback, and every time the quarterback took one step, the referee blew the whistle, and I said, well, that shows you how important the quarterback run game is to our offense, and it's unfortunate, but we had a few kids out for injuries and things of that nature, and weren't quite at full strength, but Westgate does have a heck of a team. Coach Antoine and I are really good friends. He's a mentor of mine. Coach Tyron Walker, I've been knowing him since high school. I just have a lot of respect for those guys. They kind of got the same type of school and same type of program that we have, just 30 minutes down the road. We spend a lot of time with each other. We hook up in the summertime and do a lot of 7-on-7. So I learned one thing: we got to get better up front. That's what I learned on both sides of the ball. We got to get better up front. We've been kind of shuffling some personnel around. I said that we got to settle in on some personnel things, and we've kind of done that so far this week. And we've gotten a lot of guys back. We're still missing 1 or 2 offensive linemen that we hope to get back within the next couple of weeks. But I expect us to be a lot better this upcoming Thursday and then moving forward into the upcoming weeks.
I want to talk about something that every time I talk to you about it, you light up and you gleam, and that's the freshman class this year. This is a lot of talented guys, and usually you got 1 or 2. I think, from talking to you and your staff, you guys feel like y'all got 6 or 7 with those type of guys in this freshman class. Tell us a little bit about guys like Duffy and Guernsey and what those guys can not only do in the future, but maybe this year could actually contribute and help the Bears.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Look, we're going to put the best players on the field, bottom line, and we're blessed right now where we have a couple freshman guys that have the opportunity to play some big-time football, and, all of them, for the most part, have had good summers, and, the balance for us right now is understanding that they're still young, okay, and not putting too much on them, but also developing them so that if they are able to go out there and play league football, they're ready to go. And so far, I like where we are, with those guys. A lot of them still have a long ways to go. But we're very grateful to have them in our program, and I think the future of those guys is very bright.
I know it's hard to do that, but not everybody is a Chance Babineau. That's special. So relying on these kids and asking them to do that, you not only have to be a pretty darn good athlete, you got to be strong mentally to be able to compete and be able to do that at this level that quick. I know I went over a couple guys, but maybe name a couple more and tell us who you really feel good about contributing.
Well, obviously you mentioned Carson Guernsey, who's an incoming quarterback, has a lot of arm talent, very conscientious. Football means something to him. He cares. He's got great leadership qualities. That young man just really checks all the boxes, and I think he's got a chance to etch his name in the great quarterback tradition of Carencro High School. Brandon Duffy, man, what a phenomenal athlete. I'm not too sure. He ain't probably one of the best ones that I've ever been around. He's very strong, very quick, lightning fast. He's got great hands. He's a tremendous basketball player. He's got a chance probably to be one of the best basketball players in the state, too, one of the best track athletes, man. I mean, that kid is just booming with what we would call DNA. And he's got a chance to have a really good future. Two kids that are just really, really standing out right now. One kid has been standing out to me all summer, Kylan Taylor. Obviously, that's Lucas Taylor's nephew. He had a phenomenal summer, and he's continuing right now. And, he's one of the ones where, it's kind of like, okay, coach, you're putting too much on him, take a little bit off, et cetera, et cetera. But man, he comes ready to work every day, and I think he is going to be one of those elite backs, okay, that play in this program. And he's also got the ability to split out a little bit. He runs good routes. He's got good hands, and he's a real good Mike linebacker too. But don't get no ideas, Coach Pettis. Colin Taylor has been, and Mr. Fitty is a right tackle for us, playing right tackle. I mean, Mr's probably 6'5", 6'6" right now, probably about 260 pounds, and we're kind of throwing him in the fire right now and seeing if he can swim. And he's swimming. He's swimming like Michael Phelps, and very excited about it. And I think he's got a shot to be very good. And then we got another one, Hayden Monroe, who's a long, wiry kid, and man, he's like 6'3", 190, 195 pounds right now. And his dad told me the other day that he just turned 14 in April. That kid is going to be huge one day. And look, a host of others. Right now I think we got 41 incoming freshmen, okay, which is about double the amount that we usually would have. And it's growing by the day. I mean, I'm getting kids, and I told you how I'm worn out. I'm getting kids come to me every day wanting to sign up, and I'm just like, man, it just adds more stuff, but I got like a list of kids on my desk that I got to go call them out of class and check in with them. I've had parents call me, and I'm like, I'm going to get with them, and I'm going to get them set up, but I just haven't got to it yet. But right now it's looking like, we can hopefully in a couple of weeks be at about 45 strong, which is good, and hopefully we can continue to do that every year.
We're going to step aside one more time. When we come back, we're going to change our focus and talk a little bit of Kiwanis Jamboree right here on the Karen Crow Bears Network.
We'll see y'all there. Go Bears. Family, just want to come on here real quick and let you guys know we have a merchandise sale going on right now at bsnteamsports.com. The sale has been going on for a couple weeks now, and the last day to order your Karen Crow merchandise is August 30th. It's only a few days away, so make sure you get your merchandise ordered now. We got everything that a Karen Crow fan will want to represent their school. We got t-shirts, sweaters, we got shorts, we got hats, we got slides, we got blankets, phone cases, water bottles, we even got cornhole boards. What other school y'all know sells cornhole boards? But like I said, the last day to place your order is August 30th. That's right around the corner, so make sure you get your order today. Hope to see y'all rocking the new gear at the football games. We'll see y'all there. Go Bears.
USA right here in Karen Crow with Coach Gavin Peters for the GP Are You With Me show. It's going to be our last segment tonight, Coach, and I want to turn our focus now to the Kiwanis Jamboree and the Interlude Rebels, who you'll face on Thursday night at STM. It's going to be the final kick, right? It's the last game of that Jamboree that night. How do you treat a game like this coming off of the scrimmage and preparation? Do you treat it like a regular season game in terms of watching film and game planning? And just talk about how you, before we talk about the actual opponent, let's talk a little bit about what you guys put into it when it's the Jamboree.
Well, we definitely treat it like no other game. We game plan this weekend on both Saturday and Sunday to the best that we could. Obviously, it's a little bit different because we don't have a lot to take. All you have is a scrimmage to go by. But we put in a game plan and we'll let's out on Monday. We have to figure out what we need next week. We like to dot all our I's and cross all our T's, and 365 days of the year are planned out for us, where we always know what's going on. So, we've kind of got at it, but the focus is on us. I'm being honest. The focus is on us and on us getting better and doing the things that we got to do to go out there and play winning football.
How hard is it to keep the guys kind of just focused and energized through another, preseason type game when you're looking forward to that week 1 game against STM?
Well, a program principle and staple for us is be where your feet are. We have not mentioned the week 1 game at all. We might talk about it in the coach's office or in the community, and one of the main reasons why we're talking about it is we worried that our turf field ain't gonna be done. All right, so but that's kind of the only thing that's kind of been talked about with STM, and just knowing that we got the retired jerseys that we're supposed to be honoring at halftime, and then we're giving a lifetime achievement award, and Damian James, man, one of the great players here. I got a chance to talk with Damian about 2-3 months ago, and he has not been back to Carencro. He has not been back to the open air Crow Dome since 1997. And his first time being there is going to be week 1 versus STM, hopefully next week. Look, we are looking forward to that game, obviously, not necessarily for the opponent, but for all the community and school type things that are happening that night. But as far as within the football program, our mindset ain't even on Thursday right now. Our mindset was on today, right, which we just finished. And we'll get there tomorrow in 4th and 5th out PE, and we got to play with the freshmen, we got to play with the varsity. We'll lift and watch film and go out there and have our last day of practice and, go out there on Thursday and do the best that we can.
Well, when you look at Turlings, if you ask Dane Chaponche, he won the crying towel today at the annual Kiwanis luncheon. So he gave his best impression. I heard that you guys said you had a couple super soakers instead of M16. So a lot of fun surrounding that event. But Turlings is a formidable foe. They return a lot on both lines of scrimmage. They might have to replace a quarterback. I don't know if they quite know who that guy is for them yet. But both lines of scrimmage are going to be stout, and they're going to present a challenge.
Absolutely. I talked about how inexperienced our team is, and playing Coach Dane week 1 is not necessarily, not week 1, but playing Coach Dane right now in the Jamboree and everything that he does offensively, formation-wise, motion, shifts, adjustments. It's been rough. It's been a rough week, but I was just telling our guys that, look, it's okay, okay? Like, it's good that we're having to learn how to make all of these adjustments right now so that later on in the season, the foundation will be there, So it has been very stressful so far this week, playing Turtles, because Coach Dane just does such a tremendous job on the offensive side of the ball, and defensively, they got a great staff. Coach Barkley is the defensive coordinator, who's a great friend of mine. And ever since he's taken over that defense, they have done a tremendous job. And they got a lot of veteran guys. I think Coach Tommy Tate was a former college coach who's been there a couple of years. And, their foundation is set. And they coach good football. They play multiple fronts as well. So we're going to have to be able to adjust. So, look, due to our inexperience, it hadn't been very fun preparing for those guys this week. But I think long term is the best thing for us.
You talked about inexperience and it being the Jamboree. Do you kind of take a more simplistic approach to a game like this? Maybe not as much motion, maybe not as much shifts, and just kind of go straight at it from a youth perspective?
Yes, because of our inexperience, obviously we're going to be very vanilla. We've got to get the basics down, and then once we kind of get the basics down, it's almost like when you take math. You take Algebra 1 and you go take Algebra 2, or English 1 and you go take English 2. You don't just jump straight to Coach Fran and that tough geometry class that he teaches. You don't just jump straight to it, So we're at step 1 right now, man, and we've got to get these basics down. And, that's tough for somebody like me, where, Coach Nick Saban said that him and Coach Belichick were similar in a lot of ways, but different. Coach Belichick will want to go into a game, and he'll be fine with just a hammer in the middle. What Coach Saban said, I want a hammer, I want a nail, I want a saw, I want a jackhammer, I want a knife, I want a gun. I'm one of them type of guys where I kind of like to go in games with as many bullets as we possibly can have, but we ain't ready to shoot all them bullets right now. So we're going to have to keep some of them in the chamber until the gun is ready to go, until the gun is ready to go. And I'm having to learn that. And that's part of being a coach, like Coach Mike Thomas say, you got to run to coaching. You can't run from coaching, you got to run to it. And right now, we're all having to run to coaching. And we're going to keep running to it. And develop our guys to go out there and play winning football.
Well, Coach, this was a good time. I had a fun time here with everybody at Pizzaville, USA tonight. Of course, this is our first edition of the GP. Are You With Me? Carencro Coaches Show right here live on the Carencro Bears Network at Pizzaville, USA at 114 Derrick Plaza, right off of Veterans Boulevard on exit 4. Monday night, you get buy one, get one. Tuesday night, kids eat free. Ton of good food over here. Also, powered up by Ground Patty at 505 West Fundamental. Go hit them up and look, I know they're known for their hamburgers. Trust me, get the fried chicken. You won't regret it. Absolutely delicious. And look, if you want to get in sponsorship, advertise your business, make sure you hit us up at cbnstream@gmail.com. Also want to thank our guy, Seth Dickerson, the director of the AOIT program, for helping power this broadcast, along with students Benji Desentel and Ross Noel. And of course, I want to thank Ms. Vanessa Knott, too, for coming on this first edition of the GP Are You With Me show. Hey, I think we should do it again next week, Coach.
Absolutely. And look, community want to be very thankful to you guys. You've been very supportive for the last few months. And we're excited to have all the great things that we got going at Carencro High School and in the community of Carencro. So appreciate all your support. And I promise you we're going to do everything that we do to keep everything going. Go Bears.
Life is immaculate. If you hit me for boasting, you know that I'm taxing. Keep buying cause that's still in the package. If he say that he robbed me, he capping me. Really no niggas throw sevens like Kaepernick. You not blind and you see that we have it. Known in my city, so no, I'm not average. Came a long way from dope in the cabinet. Know that I still in the game that I real.